Okay, Victoria 3 fans, let's talk about power blocks. This is intended for all audiences, so we can have a discussion or a tutorial, depending on where you are, about what good blocks are. I'm starting as France. This is because they have no block at the beginning and give us the ability to pick and choose and learn from all the choices we have. We see that there are 5 blocks in action at the beginning of the game. 3 of them are sovereign empires: Britain, Russia, Ottoman Empire. 1 is a trade league: Germany, or sorry, Prussia. Haha, they're not Germany yet. And another one is an ideological union: Austria. What are they? What do they do? What do they involve? And there's 2 more that we haven't seen yet. So let's click Form Power Block and choose one. I've got religious convocation here because I was clicking around earlier, and that's where I left it on. But we also have military treaty as another one. Now, at the very top, you've got a name for your block, colors, statue, whatever you want. Knock yourself out there, kid. I mean, you could, randomize it. There's like 4 choices. Type in one there. I can go here and either cycle through them all or just click on the button in the middle, and that'll allow me to pick from all of them. I can then build a statue, which I don't get to click on. I have to cycle through all of these. Whatever. These are all aesthetic only. So if you don't really care about them, just leave them with whatever was randomly generated and go to the meat of it, the actual game part, and make a block here. All right, so out of the 5 we have, which ones are the best? Which ones are not? The answer is yes. Okay. Well, let me explain. I think religious convocation and ideological union, to me, they feel like the most role-playing type of blocks. That is, you do those if you intend to play a certain way. You don't have to, but you decided, I'm going to make a rule in my head. I'm going to be the Papal States, and I'm going to form Italy and then spread Catholicism around the world. Or I'm going to, be America, and we're going to really go crazy with the Protestantism. Whichever, whatever. I don't know. Make your choice. Russia becoming the protector of all orthodoxy and making sure that everybody is Orthodox. However you want to do it. Religious convocation is there. And I think either there was a fix in 173 that opened this up, or I got a mod that opened it up for all types. Oh well, it allows me to pick and choose for more. If you don't have these options, it's because you have the wrong kind of government for it. Okay. But I believe religious convocation should require a theocracy, and sovereign empire should require a monarchy. But as France, I had a game where I just started off with a sovereign empire because France is a monarchy at the start, and then after it had a revolution, went Republican, kept the sovereign empire. The block will outlast your regime changes. So make sure the block you choose suits you and you're committed to it all the way through the game. Each block is going to come with its own internal benefit, and it will have 2 different primary principal groups. And one of these primary principal groups is not available to any other block type. So if we go to Trade League, we have the principles again here, internal trade and external trade. I don't believe I see external trade anywhere else. I see internal trade, but not external trade. In fact, if I go here to Sovereign Empire and try to add principle, I see external trade, not internal trade. I stand corrected. External trade is available, but not internal trade. For Sovereign Empire, exploitation of members is there, go to, but not vassalization. Others can choose vassalization, I'm saying. If we go with ideological union and look at their principles, other people can select creative legislature, but only the ideological union can do ideological truth. If we go to the military treaty and look at those, others can get defensive coordination, but aggressive coordination is exclusive to this group and gives them quite a lot of power there. And then finally, if we go to the religious convocation and add a principle there, sacred civics are available to other block types, but divine economics are not. So each of these block types will have its own particular exclusive type of principle, and they give that block type that special advantage. For all the other block types, they have access to, well, the other one. But we also look at these and we see that when we look at them, some of them have a benefit right away, like customs union for the trade league. For sovereign empire, they can subjugate power block members. For ideological unions, they can force regime changes. Military treaties, they get a free war goal. Nice. And religious convocation, they can impose state religion on members of their blocks. Obviously, this is geared to have different styles of play, different ways of looking at the game. These are areas to explore. And I have played through as an ideological union, as a sovereign empire, and trade league. Well, not the whole way through, but I've tried them. And I can say of those three, one of them I think suits my play best. One of them is second best, and the other is, well, third best. And then for military treaty and religious convocation, I can see their place, but I don't really play that way. If you want to role play converting the world, go with religious convocation. If you like painting the map, military treaty is a really good one to have, where you get lots of different nations brought into your power block. They contribute their armed forces, and when you're maxed out on these particular mandates, you will have large armies to support you, whether you're attacking or defending. Ideological union is very efficient at passing laws. When we get to creative legislature, at the highest level there, you can have an additional setback. You have reduced chance of a stall, reduced chance of somebody making a movement to preserve the law you're replacing, and less chance to have a movement arise to restore a law that you overruled. If you don't like revolutions, this is actually a really good one to do. And that's for all bloc members. Sovereign empire, yes, you have diminished weekly liberty desire for your subjects, and you can subjugate them. It takes place after 5 years is when you have that option become available. So, like if I'm playing France and I make Switzerland a member of my bloc, after 5 years of their being a member of my bloc, I can make them a protectorate. Then they're part of my market. But at the same time, if I have a trade league and I make somebody a member of my bloc, they're part of my market right away. Now, what's important there with the market membership? Okay, if you have nations that are in your bloc, but they are not a member of your market, and that's true for all of them except for trade league, well, they maintain their own market. If you invest in them, you're investing in their local market. So if they have a high demand for, let's say, iron, and you build an iron mine, they'll be very thankful for that. It'll produce iron. You'll get profits from it. They enjoy the iron in their market. Life is good. But let's say you have an increased need for coal in your market, and the nation you want to invest in has lots of coal mines, but no demand for coal. You build the coal mines, and nobody goes to them. Why? There's no demand for coal in that market. But I want to set up I want them to make coal so I can set up a trade deal, and then I will import the coal. Nah, they don't see it that way. They need to be part of your market to satisfy the demand for coal in your market. That's where the trade league has a huge advantage economically. Once they're a member of your group, and there's very low resistance to being a member of a trade league, whether there's high resistance to becoming a member of a sovereign empire because they know it's on the menu. But trade league, yeah, as soon as you join that, you're part of my market. What I demand is what you demand. You can make a lot of money making stuff that you don't want, and you can ship over to me. And I'll make some money making stuff that you don't have the tech to make, but you still want to have it, and send it to you. Oh, yeah. But also make it for myself. Lots of potential there. Lots of potential. Now, if you are not a trade league, let's go with sovereign empire, and let's click on principle, and I know these are locked out, but all the other types have something called market unification. If they want to spend an entire principal pillar on that, then at level 3, you see where it says power block, check, customs union. And oh, good. We can make them all members of our customs union when they first show up. So this would take any other block type, and if you max out market unification 3, you then also add the benefits of a trade league in terms of there being a member of your customs union automatically. But that means you have to take an entire principal pillar in order to support that. And it's kind of admitting, I should have had a customs union. So if you want to live without market unification, if you're a sovereign empire, you make everything a protectorate or more, and then they're part of your market. Then you get to invest in them and have them produce goods for your home market. Or you just learn how to trade. And when I say use an entire principle for that, if I come back to this trade league, all right, so I've already got the benefit of enhanced trade route volume and everybody in my customs union, and they're kicking in all that stuff there. Okay, if we take a look at adding the principle, or remember, external trade is available to everybody else, and that gives lower bureaucracy, better competitiveness with your trade routes. Assume that other nations that have trade are going to want to do that. But you've got internal trade. This is to boost your own trade block. And it starts off, yes, there's a company throughput bonus and more convoy contribution. And you get to the end, it changes the tariff structure, improves your infrastructure. It does quite a lot to boost trade within your own power block. It's nice to have. But other ones that look really good, well, I could go max out on vassalization, and this is what makes the sovereign empire so strong and why they have so much authority, because they got a lot of vassals. That adds 25 per guy, so you can suppress all the political groups you want, raise all the taxes you want, issue decrees left and right. That's a good deal to have. But I like, well, construction is a good one because it makes your buildings more efficient at construction. Advanced research is amazing. Everybody's going to get schools, although I think I've got a mod that ties in with that. But anyway, the vanilla version is you get more innovation, you get more technology spread, you have less of a penalty of researching ahead of time. This is good. This is really good. It was a lot more powerful before the 173 update, but it's still a really good one to have. Another one that I liked was colonial offices, because if you max out on here, you have reduced infamy against unrecognized powers. You get faster colonies. This is a good one to have as well. This is good as well. Okay, so great. So I've got colonial offices, I've got advanced research, I've got construction, I've got one of these or the other. And let's say I get to a point where I want to change my mind. Well, I can. Here's how. Let's go ahead and just choose the thing. We'll submit it. We'll form the power block and hit yes. Take a relationship with everybody. And if I don't want to have that relationship hit be dramatic, one, either make rivals of some of these great powers with their own block. Then I don't care about the relationship and I get more diplomacy points. And since it's going to cost 500 diplomacy per week to keep it going, having rivalries allows me to compensate for that and then get more diplomacy points for working with my block members or working with people outside of my block to bring them in. Because you will have to use those diplomacy points to maintain your block memberships and bring them in. You want more diplomacy points. You want to harvest rivalries. But understand also that your rivals will do things to like help support independence movements among your block members. So beware. You'll make enemies, but you will fight them. Well, that's one way of doing it. The other way would be, what if instead of doing it right away, what if I built a relationship or waited for an opportunity to intervene in a diplomatic play and got an obligation. Then, when I form my bloc, I take the hit on relations and then cash in the obligation and then, boom, get that 30 points restored back to me. Nice. There's ways you can manage that. But right now, I'll just take the hit at the beginning because we're going to talk about the bloc. Here we are. We've got one member, Tahiti, and one other member, France. So 1 plus 1 is 2. How do I get more members? We'll get into that. But let's talk about principles. I've got 4 points per turn there for my number 2 ranking, and I get 1 point for my unrecognized regional power, Tahiti, and we're orchestrated. If I bring in major powers, great powers, minor powers, we add more of those points, and that will get me, when I have more mandate points, then I can cash them in on other mandates. I've already got 1, and it will take, I get 1, 2, 3 more principles potentially, and each one can go up to level 3, so that's 3, 6, 9, 12. All right, so 12 total. I've got 1 now, so I need 11 more. And if I get 1 every 6 years, okay, in 66 years, even if I add no more members, I'll be able to max out on all of my institutions or the principles. But if I add members, it generates faster. Nice. And we can have those principles stack up. If you're a nation like Germany or England, you already start off with additional mandates, and you're generating them faster because you have more members in your bloc and they're stronger and stuff. You'll have them to spare. It's good to have mandate points to spare because what if, like we said earlier, you get tired of one of those and you think, I need another one. For example, I don't need to, I've already got a very extensive research lead. Maybe I replace that one with migration focus because I've got the Statue of Liberty now and I want lots of immigration. Max out on that. What if you want more police? Whatever you want to do, if you have additional mandate points, you can click on the mandate and replace it. I can't do it here because I don't have them, but click on the mandate and then you'll have others down here that you could replace it with. And if you have maxed out mandates or maxed out principles, you're level 3 and all, and you want to replace one with a level 3, just wait until you have 3 mandates available. And then you click 1, you say, I'm going to replace this one, and then you add on the other 2 institutions that go with it, and there you are. You have a level 3. There's a mod that gives you 8 slots for principles. I think that's cheesy. If you want to cheese it and you like playing overpowered, go for it. I do that every now and then. I'm guilty. I just recently turned off one of my infamy mods. Because it was going too crazy. Also because the AI was taking advantage of it. But anyway, I digress. If you have lots of members, you're going to generate more mandate points. If you're like France here, you need to have people join your club. If you're Germany or England, you've already got a big club. So how do we get people to join with us? Well, so we're probably going to need to unpause and let things run. And once all of our interests kick in, give me just a second here, and then I'll have it ready to go. Just a second. All right. Everywhere we have an interest, we now see these shields that show where we stand with our neighbors. And this is not hatred. It just shows my relationship, and we can improve them pretty easily. You just hover over it, and it shows not only is it where it is right now, but whether it's rising or falling. And I see here, I've got +5 weekly leverage on the Swiss Confederation. Nice. I go over here to Belgium, and I've got +4.7. Why is it different? Well, you see that I've got different leverage numbers. And does it give me the leverage numbers here? No. It just says where I am. It doesn't really give me a lot. But I kind of get an idea that, what's generating my leverage? Well, relationships. If I'm improving relations, that helps. If I am guaranteeing their independence, having trade blocks, well, let's just go ahead and click on Belgium and let's see what kind of diplomacy we could have here. Oops, interactions. Let's go with our diplomatic actions. Improve relations, guaranteeing independence, propose trade agreements, bankrolling, getting investment rights, and funding lobbies. I call this the like, comment, subscribe method. Had the other video on that. You like them, you comment on them, and then you subscribe by either bankrolling or funding lobbies, where you're sending them money to make things go your way. And out of these, I look here, if I propose a trade deal, that gives me plus 100 leverage. And that's nice. I keep that going. If I'm going to make a customs union, then that's something I will eventually not need because they will then be in my market. Guaranteeing independence, that's a nice thing to do. But again, once they're in my block, I'm kind of guaranteeing independence. I'm good with that. When we look at investment rights and agreements, if I grant them investment rights in my country, then they get leverage on me. If I get investment rights in their country, I have leverage on them. And you see the number's 200 either direction. If it's mutual, then we each get 150 leverage on each other. Now, a mutual one, you may think, well, maybe that's better than nothing. I agree. But holding out and getting those investment rights is a major step. And you don't want to let go of that. Even though they may ask for, hey, how about a mutual investment agreement? Unless there's a big pile of money in that other country that is good for you, you don't want to click on that because it reduces the amount of leverage you get on them every turn. Funding lobbies increases the leverage generation. It does not generate it itself, but bankrolling, yes, that gives you plus 200 leverage. So even if you've got maximum relationships, bankrolling is cheap in terms of diplomatic points. Have your economy in good shape, and you can afford to bankroll even beyond when they're at level 80 or 100 or whatever. You just keep bankrolling to maintain that pressure. So let's go over here to Switzerland. It's a smaller nation, easier to dominate. What if we just start off, if we take a look here at their, and I wish there was an easier way to see this. Maybe I'm missing something, but we're increasing by 5 per week. Okay, what if we now start boosting things? We've got a trade agreement with them. Let's guarantee independence. Let's bankroll. Let's fund those lobbies. And we can even improve relationships. All right, now that we've done all that, 6.9 every week. This is a good deal. As we increase our leverage, though, that number is going to shrink. We've got 756 to go. We've got a lot to do there. A lot. What else is going to change that? Well, we've done all the clicking we can on the diplomacy screen. The next area is the actual area of trade. And I could go out and deliberately set up trade routes with other countries, but I don't have to do that. If you want to have more influence in other countries, build your own economy. As your economy becomes larger, the AI is going to generate trade with it. And that trade is going to generate influence. And if you have more stuff for trading to send out to export, or you import more of their goods, they become more dependent on your economy. And that generates leverage. You're not going to have that kind of leverage at the beginning of the game. It's 1836. No one's truly industrialized. England and Belgium, and to some extent France, yes, they have early industrialization. But that's not the industrialization of the mid to late game. The massive factories, the wow, how'd you do that? It's so much. That's when you have over 1,000 construction and you're thinking it's a bit low. That's the industrialization we're talking about, where you generate so much pressure just from having that kind of economic clout. And you will see nations lining up to join your power block that you didn't even know were interested, because they've become so dependent on your economy. Their tick has gone up to plus 200. So when those shields turn from yucky red to happy green, you will, and I don't see it anywhere here, but when they turn that color to green and it has a 200 or more, they are ready to join your block. They will apply. And when you have that, you'll click on the apply for block membership. And whether you do it here from invite countries and you click on the plus here, it doesn't do it automatically. You'll see the play pop up here. And when you have that, it'll give a percentage chance. And when it gives that percentage chance, you could keep waiting and see if it's going up or down. If it's going down, maybe drop an obligation on them and get it up to 100% and bring them in. Or roll the dice and hope you hit right. I had one where I tried with Hawaii and they're at 91%. I clicked and then they didn't join. I'm like, kick me in the head. Wait a little bit longer, though, that 91 becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And when it's at 100, the percentage chance disappears. You lock them in. And if they apply and there's no percent chance there, you lock them in. You got them right away. And once they're joined, great. All you have to do is maintain that block. I can see right now my leverage is terrible over Tahiti, but that's okay. We're getting 9 per week because we have things going on. They're part of our block. That does give us more leverage there. And that is going to help with some other things that we have later on. And it just shows, here's all the things there. And I could sort members by leverage, but there's one. So yeah, that's it. As we add more members, we'll see more things and how much leverage we have on them. If I go to my subject screen, this is different. This is where I can actually track them as a subject and not a block member. And we can see that they are reducing liberty by a very small amount every week. If I did more things to put leverage on them, I would be further reducing that liberty desire. Likewise, if other countries are stoking independence movements, it will increase liberty desire, and it'll show red and it's moving in the other way. If it's green and moving green and moving to the left, they're reducing it. Red and moving right, they're going to ask you some uncomfortable questions in the near future. But again, over time, those numbers are going to diminish simply by them being in my market and the trade happening. They become very dependent on me. Trade is going to be very important in this. Building your army so it has power projection, you have higher prestige, will also increase the weight of your pressure on other nations and increase their desire for them to join with your bloc. But remember, those big numbers we see now, they're going to reduce over time. In fact, if I tag switch to Germany, we could get a view of that. So let's do that. Like, oh no, I won't get any achievements out of this game. That's a tutorial, baby. Okay, wow, they need a lot of groceries there, it looks like. Okay, let's go ahead and look at block membership, though. And there you see lots of leverage over all of them. They've been there for some time. And we see that at the start of the game, we've got no leverage on this entity of the British Empire. And these guys are part of Denmark. We can't really leverage on them because they're subjects. As for Hamburg, Bremen, and Oldenburg, well, they're increasing a little bit per week, but if we want them to join Zollverein, we need to apply more pressure. And at the same time, we can see that we are we've got some cohesion, but it could be better. What is it that we need? We need to improve relationships. We need to have better trade. And again, the relationship improvement you do from the diplomacy screen. And once you've done all the things you can do there, you've done them all. But trade you control by building your economy. That's the key to a strong bloc, building that economy. All right. If you've got comments, if you've got strategies of your own, questions of your own, put them below in the comment section. If you like the video, like it and draw me into your power sphere. And of course, hit the subscribe if you like these. I'm going to do more tutorials. This is one, and I'm going to have more. And if you like more of these tutorials, like to see me do playthroughs, of course subscribe. And you'll enjoy all the content. So until next time, hope all the diplomatic plays you make go your way.